This is the second part in the video series on how to change your habits for good. In the first one, we established that before most behaviors take place, there must be a cue or a trigger that elicits it, be it the time of the day when it comes to going to school or feeling hungry when it comes to cooking a meal and eating. Watch the first video for a more in-depth explanation. So, after those cues, a craving usually will follow. Cravings are the motivational force behind every habit. It's nothing more than a desire. After we see the cue, we crave the change in state a certain behavior will deliver. Your habits are modern-day solutions to ancient desires such as obtain water and food, reproduce, connect and bond, win social acceptance and approval, reduce uncertainty, achieve status. There are many different ways to address the same underlying motive. A craving is the sense that something is missing. It is the desire to change your internal state. Desire is the difference between where you are now and where you want to be in the future. When you binge eat, for example, what you really want is not a potato chip, but to feel different. The second rule of behavioral change states: make a behavior attractive if you want to perform it more often, and make it unattractive if you want to stop it. Craving good food is quite easy, but how in the world can we make ourselves crave going to the gym? Often it is more than enough to just put a small reward at the end of a habit you want to reinforce. After a while, the craving for the reward will also be associated with the new beneficial habit, even if the reward is not intrinsically tied to that behavior. Take a warm shower and grab a nice burger after every gym session, for example. Watch an episode of your favorite series after you study for an hour or two. After habit I need, I will habit I want. Another powerful way to make yourself crave a certain behavior more is to make the behavioral process more enjoyable. If you have to clean your flat, put your headphones on and listen to awesome music while doing the work. Spray some nice perfume on your gym clothes, or buy very fancy workout shoes that you just love and feel awesome in. Buy nice, high-quality pencils if you want to draw. There are always ways to improve the process and make it more enjoyable. Be creative. Furthermore, most habits we have been handed down to us by our families and friends, our school or church, movies and series. In other words, we imitate those around us, and whatever habits are normal or regarded beneficial in your direct culture will become attractive to you, and you will most likely start craving those. We soak up the qualities and practices of those around us. That's why one of the most effective ways to make a habit attractive is to join a group of like-minded people, a culture where your desired behavior is the normal. If you want to get strong, join a powerlifting gym, not a regular one. If you want to read more, join a book club. If you want to cook more, join a cooking class. You get the idea. Also, try finding people you respect a lot. What are the behaviors they do? What are their habits? Working out? Reading? Running? Focused work? We are drawn to behaviors that earn us respect, praise, approval, admiration, or status. Ask yourself the question of where you want to be outstanding in, and find some role models that already are outstanding in that field. Then emulate them. Now, have you ever paid any attention to your beliefs about the things you do and don't do? What comes to your mind when you think of the gym, for example? Being healthy, strong, and full of energy? Or sweating heavily, painful work, and being tired afterwards? Whatever new habit you want to implement, does your thought start with "I have to do" or with "I get to do"? Whatever our belief regarding a specific topic, we will always find evidence for it, so we don't have to change those beliefs. Confirmation bias is a very real and dangerous tendency of human beings. Start by reframing your chosen habit by highlighting the benefits of it rather than the drawbacks. Choose "I get to do" instead of "I have to do." Pay close attention to what your mind says and how you feel about the new behavior. Sit down and write all the benefits on a piece of paper. Search for more benefits on the internet. Ask others for their benefits. Stick that piece of paper to the wall if you want and read it every time you go past it. Where focus goes, energy flows. Thinking more often about the benefits of a behavior and of the behavior itself will make you a lot more likely to finally do it. An extremely powerful way of reminding oneself of the benefits is in acknowledging that so-called keystone habits exist. In the book The Power of Habit, written by Charles Duhigg, he introduces us to a very interesting concept called keystone habits. Take exercise for example. When people start habitually exercising, they start changing other, unrelated patterns in their lives too, often unknowingly. They typically also start eating better, become more productive at work, smoke less, and show more patience with people. For many, exercise is a keystone habit that triggers widespread change. So by just reminding yourself that with changing one habit, you may change your whole life to the better, you will easily come up with the energy to do it. This also works for unwanted habits. We don't highlight the benefits of doing it though, but those of avoiding it to make it seem more unattractive. What are you going to get from using your phone less often? More time spent on fulfilling experiences, an emptier and more peaceful mind, less negative emotions, etc. In rational emotive cognitive behavioral therapy, there are two ways of asking the question of benefits regarding a behavior that we want to stop. Remember, we will always find answers to the questions we impose, especially if we are biased. We want to avoid thinking about the quote-unquote benefits of performing the unwanted negative behavior, which is most often than not that we just enjoy it a lot and that it makes us feel better in the moment, so we don't even ask for the pros and cons of the given behavior. We'd rather ask for, what are the advantages of stopping to eat sweets, smoke, etc., and what are the disadvantages of eating sweets, smoking, etc. Pause the screen for a second and think about those questions. Do you notice how both questions only lead to one conclusion? The conclusion to stop. Yes, those questions are somewhat manipulative and don't give the full picture. But we are here at war with our bad habits, and in war everything is allowed. The answers to those questions will be similar or almost the same, but that won't be always the case. Try it out on your own and try finding answers to these questions. Later on, you may want to use those questions once a week, so you can remind yourself why you even started. There also exist negative keystone habits, habits that make everything worse in life. Smoking or drinking excessively, for example. Then you also work out less because it becomes a pain in the ass. Eat unhealthier because it doesn't even matter anymore. Become less productive because you're lacking the energy and motivation. By again acknowledging that those negative keystone habits exist, and by verbalizing and stating how they negatively influence everything we do in our life, we will feel readier to say goodbye to those once and for all. Here is a summary for you regarding the second law of behavioral change. Take a screenshot if you like and have it ready for when you are ready to change your life. And this day should be today. All the best to you. Peace.
People in the city say it's warmer in the valley, the valley. I don't ever wanna be cold in the city. Believe me, I don't wanna be cold in the city, but I wanna be where I wanna be. Yeah, I wanna be warm in the valley.